Cato Institute has issued a fiscal policy report card on America's governors. And unfortunately, Governor Dennis Daugaard is not at the top of the class. Only 5 Republican governors scored worse than Governor Daugaard. In this extensive report, 4 Democrats scored as well or better than Daugaard. It shouldn't surprise anyone who's really been watching the performance. Now, under the leadership of Governor Sam Brownback, taxes in Kansas have been reduced by $800 million a year. Daugaard's leadership has produced tax increases of well over $100 million a year. That's quite a contrast. Those suffering the illusion that South Dakota has a conservative governor might want to look at this report card and reevaluate that perspective. Daugaard earned a 53% in this scorecard, 16 points behind the best scoring governors. When compared with other Republican governors, Daugaard scored, quote, below average. On spending, Daugaard earned a score of 55%, while 15 other Republican governors were scoring even worse. The Cato Institute included a fiscal policy note on each governor. The note on Governor Daugaard reads as follows. South Dakota has a relatively low tax burden, and Governor Daugaard wants to keep it that way. The state does not have a personal or corporate income tax, and it has a sales tax rate of just 4%. The Tax Foundation found that the state has the second best tax climate for businesses in the nation. Daugaard has spearheaded an advertising campaign targeting investors in high-tax California and Illinois to open or expand their businesses in South Dakota. Daugaard's modest grade of C reflects the lack of any major steps by the governor to cut taxes and spending. But it's also true that there are few taxes and spending targets relatively in small government South Dakota. Well, it's certainly true that South Dakota is small potatoes in the world of big government budgets, giving us the benefit of lower taxes and less regulation. But one could also argue that should give our governor a head start towards a high grade rather than being scored below average. What is really most troubling is that South Dakota continues to travel in the direction of more regulation and higher taxes. That's not comforting to conservatives in the state of South Dakota.